Vladimir Vernadsky gave us the concept of the Noosphere. He saw human thought as a new geological force, capable of altering the Earth's evolution. It is a massive scientific legacy, but one currently trapped in a bitter geopolitical tug-of-war. In Moscow, the official narrative frames Vernadsky as a great Russian scientist, a loyal imperial subject whose achievements belong exclusively to the center. Many modern Ukrainians react by disowning him entirely. They see a conformist who abandoned his cultural identity to serve the occupying power. We have to consider whether Vernadsky made a conscious choice to betray his heritage, or if the empire simply found a way to hijack his biological vulnerabilities. This starts with a neurophysiological principle called cognitive economy. The human brain functions with a strict limit on its computational power. To reach a breakthrough, it must aggressively conserve resources, shutting down peripheral awareness to funnel every watt of energy into a single central goal. The direct result is selective blindness. In this state, the genius loses the mental bandwidth required to monitor the shifting socio-political realities around them. Vernadsky's focus on the chemical composition of the Earth's crust likely consumed the energy needed to resist the cultural pressures of his time. Accepting the imperial status quo offered the path of least cognitive resistance. It allowed him to preserve his mental energy for his research rather than wasting it on the friction of political dissent. This extreme focus creates a natural biological distraction, a massive blind spot that an aggressive environment can easily occupy. When an empire establishes a total monopoly on funding, laboratories, and institutions, it creates an environment where a distracted mind must assimilate just to continue its work. This systemic gravity pulled thinkers with Ukrainian, Belarusian, or Polish roots into the center, stripping away their heritage and relabeling their breakthroughs as imperial triumphs. Rocket pioneer Konstantin Tsiolkovsky followed this same trajectory. Despite his Ukrainian Cossack ancestry, his obsession with the stars made him a target for imperial absorption. The state prized these men for the prestige their inventions provided, while largely ignoring the radical, futuristic theories, like Cosmism and human immortality, that actually drove their work. Thinkers like Vernadsky and Tsiolkovsky imagined a borderless expansion into the universe, but the Soviet state viewed their science merely as a technical means to secure its own terrestrial borders. While the Soviet system prioritized centralized control, the American program eventually realized the expansive, technology-driven future these cosmists had first described. The empire essentially performed an intellectual heist, stealing the legacies of visionaries to prop up its own system, all while stifling the very future they were trying to build. Surrendering figures like Vernadsky or Tsiolkovsky to Moscow is a form of intellectual capitulation. It is a loss of history as significant as a loss of territory. Allowing the empire to keep these hijacked minds validates a false narrative of cultural ownership and supremacy. Decolonization functions as a necessary rescue mission, liberating these world-changing ideas from the entropic grip of imperial propaganda. By identifying their biological blind spots, we can separate their pure scientific genius from the political assimilation that was forced upon them by their environment. Reclaiming these minds is the first step in building a forward-looking civilization in Ukraine and the wider post-Soviet space, one defined by potential rather than trauma. Liberating these hijacked thinkers doesn't just correct the record. It returns their visions of the noosphere and cosmic expansion to the entire world.